Hey everyone, this is Marcia O'Connor, CEO and founder of the O'Connor Group. We are here about top three. Top three is, entrepreneurs share their secrets and their mistakes. And I think a lot of times there is a falsehood about entrepreneurship that it's easy and it's so much fun. It is fun, but I don't think it's easy. And you're going to hear experiences from a variety of individuals who are either just starting out in their careers or have been doing it for several years or have a solo entrepreneurship or have partners and have a big team. And I think you need to hear all those experiences to help you become a better entrepreneur as well. So sit back, enjoy, be careful if you're driving right now, and welcome to Top 3.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Marcia O'Connor again with Top 3, where entrepreneurs share their secrets and their mistakes. I am so excited to have a dear friend of mine, Marcia Sharkey, today, and she has an amazing nonprofit called Today is a Good Day. And she's going to go into the details why it's even called that. But she has a unique background that she'll share with all of you, but what a journey she has had. So Martha, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Marcia. Really happy to be here with you today.
Oh, I am thrilled. I am thrilled to have you here. And I'm just so impressed about what you have done with your organization. Today is a good day. And I know that, there's a lot of emotion with this whole story, but I think people need to hear it and hear what you have done and how it got started. So let's start.
Sure. Happy to give some background on our family's journey. We, like so many, my husband and I were married. We're Penn State grads. If any of your listeners are big Penn Staters, we are. But we were married. We found out a couple of years later we were expecting for the first time. Soon found out we were expecting identical twin girls, which was very exciting for our family. And we thought, like so many, you got pregnant and you started a family, which certainly is how it goes for some. That's not how our story went. Our daughters were due March 8th of 2011. Everything was going along smoothly with the pregnancy up until, I'll never forget the date, Tuesday, November 9th of 2010. Something didn't feel right. I was working at the Franklin Institute Science Museum at the time. I looked at my director. I said, hey, they want me to come in, get checked out, make sure everything's okay. I grabbed my folder of work and said, I'll see you tomorrow. And that was truly the first day that our lives changed forever. I was admitted to the hospital at just 23 weeks and 0 days. And the doctors had difficult conversations with us. They said, we're going to try to keep you pregnant as long as possible. Every hour, every day, every minute counts. So we had big plans. We were spending the holidays in that hospital room. Our daughters weren't due for several more months. But I only made it on bed rest for 5 days until our daughters arrived. Claire weighed 1 pound, 2 ounces, and Mary weighed 1 pound, 4 ounces. And we were launched into that overwhelming world of the NICU, which is a whole new adventure. We knew nothing about the neonatal intensive care unit or what that would mean for our family. Just 14 days later, our daughter Mary passed away, and we went back to Claire, who was continuing to fight day by day, hour by hour, as we were grieving the loss of Mary. Claire ended up beating the odds. She came home after 3.5 months in the NICU, 103 days, and she is now 12. But that journey was really difficult and challenging. And we recognized a gap in care for parents and families trying to navigate the NICU experience. And that's where the whole idea of Today is a Good Day came from.
Wow, that is, thank you for sharing that, and thanks for being so honest and real. And I'm so sorry about the loss of Mary.
Thank you.
And but it's so wonderful to have Claire, and Claire's 12, and I'm
Yes.
sure it just is sunshine in your life and all. But there are challenges there, and when you start an organization like you've done too, there's challenges with that alone. Could you go through some of those challenges that you came across in the early days?
Sure. We didn't start the organization until several years after Claire had graduated from the NICU. So it was always in our thought to want to give back in some way. And we started raising money. We started a Running with the Sharks team, supported the March of Dimes for many years, got involved with the March of Dimes and other organizations. In fact, we started taking Claire back to the NICU at Abington Hospital when she was about 18 months old, so that we could speak with other families who were going through the NICU. They could meet a 23-weeker who was 15 ounces at her lowest weight and just got her first pair of sneakers and was learning how to walk. So we started doing different things to help give back. And it was actually my best friend from Penn State, Marcia, she got tired of hearing me talk about wanting to start an organization. She called around the holidays in 2012 and she said, all right, I'm tired of hearing you talk about this. I started your fundraiser page that you need to raise the money for your 501c3 application. Let's get this thing going. And the rest is history. We ended up founding the organization officially in May of 2014. We had a lot of conversations with neonatologists, with nurses, with other NICU families, just sharing where we saw some gaps, but also talking with them to say, where do you see gaps for families who are going through the NICU? Where can we fit in? What can we do to partner with you to be able to support families in a meaningful way? And that's where the whole idea of Today is a Good Day came from. So we named our organization that because at the beginning with Claire and Mary, we did not have very many good days. We had a lot of difficult days, difficult moments, challenging decisions to make. And we always rejoiced when the doctors and nurses would come to us and say, today is a good day for Claire, or at the beginning, today is a good day for Mary. And, our goal was to help parents understand to take it one day at a time, to celebrate those good days, those good moments. And the organization has grown since then, but it's been learning lessons along the way, right? All different chapters, figuring out what the organization would look like, what programs we could add, bringing in new volunteers to help with the mission. So it's been a journey for sure.
It's interesting. I think it's funny, similar circumstance, different in one way, but the fact that your friend said, you keep talking about it and talking about it and talking about it, we're going to do this. And one of the reasons why I started the O'Connor group is because I kept talking about it and talking about it. And my husband got so mad at dinner, he just said one night, he's like, oh my God, you either do this or stop talking about it.
Yes.
And I think that was just a wake-up call I needed. And as well as my son was like 6 and he said, Mom, can I see you more? That worked as well.
Yes.
And then I said, you know what? You're right. I keep talking about this. I just have to do it and jump off the ledge there and do it. And I felt like, okay. And so now look at you now. Like it's an amazing group. You're doing all these wonderful things out there. You're helping so many families. How are you helping other families going through what you went through?
Well, and I have to go back to what you said, because I do sometimes think it takes that little push from someone to say, come on, let's do this. We can make this happen. The organization has evolved over the years. So to be quite honest, I was working full time when we founded the organization. I was serving as the director of the business district in Chestnut Hill in Northwest Philadelphia. And Paul and I started the organization, and we raised our first $3,000 through my grandmother's obituary. When she passed, they said, in lieu of flowers, please donate to Today is a Good Day. That first $3,000 was our launch to be able to purchase items for the first round of care packages that we delivered to Abington Hospital, which is our flagship hospital, who we have worked with for so long. We would run the organization on the side for the next several years. Paul always appreciated when I would wake him up at 4:00 in the morning to fill care packages, Marcia. That was one of his favorite moments. And then we ended up having some really heartfelt conversations toward the end of 2017 to say, hey, where do we want the organization to go? If we want the organization to go in that direction and we want to continue expanding and serving more families, how are we going to make that happen? And the answer to that was me stepping down from my full-time role, which was took a significant amount of time, and focus fully on the organization. Also allowed me to be at home with our children a little bit more at that time. But since 2018, we have seen significant growth for Today is a Good Day. So in that first year, we really focused on building out the foundation, building our board out. At the time, it was only 3 of us. We built the board out, I think in the first year to about 8 members who were very dedicated to the mission. We looked at different areas we wanted to fill, areas of expertise. So we were very strategic in what that growth was going to look like. We created a strategic plan for 2 years to say, hey, this is what we want to accomplish. And we started working with another two new hospitals I'm trying to think. We started working with a couple more hospitals in that first 2018, 2019. So we grew from Jefferson Abington Hospital at the beginning, and now to date, we are impacting families at 18 hospitals across 6 states, all with different partnerships, different services that they're receiving. But all of that has evolved over the past 8 years of us starting the organization.
That is phenomenal, and you should be so proud of yourself to do that.
Oh,
And I imagine it also requires a staff, some volunteers. So tell me how big your group is, and how do you get volunteers involved?
oh gosh, we would not be able to do what we do without the volunteers that we have. And we are so incredibly grateful for the team of volunteers that work to advance the mission of Today is a Good Day every single day. We started as a very volunteer led organization, and the volunteers help with the goals and the implementation and partnerships and every aspect of the organization. As we continue to grow, our fundraising continue to increase, our partnerships continue to increase. We were able to bring on our second full-time staff member in summer of 2020. We have now grown to a team of 3 full-time staff members and 2 part-time team members. And we're growing based upon the needs that we're seeing, our partnerships expanding, and our programs expanding.
I think that's wonderful. So, what is that? What's next for Today is a Good Day?
Oh my goodness, so much is coming up in 2023. One of the things I'm most proud of is we actually started a podcast in 2020. We just finished up our 4th season. It just came out, and we have some really great conversations in there. The podcast was started as a way to provide additional resources for families going through the NICU. So if parents are driving back and forth to the hospital, they could pop on one of those podcasts, Mom's Pumping, listen to the podcast. And we talk with social workers, nurses, neonatologists, lifestyle experts. We have families who share their personal journeys, but all just different touch points with encouragement for families going through some of the most difficult days of their lives. We also, as we head into 2023, this is a program that I am so excited to share with you today. We are just getting ready to launch a brand new Today is a Good Day app. So over the past number of years, we have had an online community for the greater Philadelphia region for NICU parents to connect with one another on Facebook. Obviously, the demographics of Facebook continue to evolve and change. So we wanted to make sure that we were able to connect with as many families as possible. And that group was only focused in the greater Philadelphia region as a way for local families to connect, which is a core part of our mission, really making those personal local connections for NICU families. So our Today is a Good Day app is going to allow us to create these online communities where our hospital partners are located. So to get started, we are going to have about 6 different online communities based in where all of our hospital partners are located within the tri-state area here, between New Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania, but also in Chicago, Illinois, in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where 3 of our hospital partners are located, so that families there can start to build their local communities. And when I say that, it's questions, and this is what just makes my heart explode when I think about our online community. I found our allergist because I asked in the group and said, hey, does anybody have any recommendations? Or we have parents that say, hey, my little one just got lifts and I don't know where to go to get them sneakers that are going to fit their lifts to help with their legs and their development. Hey, I go to Willow Grove Mall, or I go to Strive right? That local community that can be parents helping one another. So we're just getting ready to launch that, Marcia, which is very, very exciting.
Oh my God, that's going to be great. So let us know how we can
I
help
know.
you. Okay, because we love sharing all the good news that's happening out there in the Philadelphia area. So if we can help you at all, please let us know. That's
Thank you.
cool. How do you keep it together? You're a mom, you're a wife. You are doing all this stuff. You're doing podcasts. How are you taking care of you?
Oh gosh, can I give that question right back to you, Marcia? I feel like you. um, I think we do the best we can every day, right? And now the team here would laugh because I'm very much an early riser. I love that early morning time to get a lot accomplished before the day really starts, before our daughters get up and get ready to go to school. But I do feel grateful every day being able to get up and to work on this mission, which is very near and dear to our hearts and something that we find to be very important for families going through such difficult days. So we feel very lucky to be able to advance the mission of Today is a Good Day. And I would say my husband and I are a good team. We work together. He works full time for United Healthcare, has been a part of that team for over 15 years now. But his heart is also in the mission of Today is a Good Day. And so we're a good team working together along with the incredible volunteers, the board, the team here.
So going back to your major at Penn State, obviously, like the communications and all that, did you ever think in a million years that you would be doing what you're doing today?
No, I think about that frequently, almost on a daily basis. And I say that to friends and connections that we make regularly. I do think it's interesting when you look back, and you would probably say the same thing, when you look back on your career and where it has led you, every chapter is different, right? But every chapter builds on itself to take you to the next
Oh,
chapter. Would
yeah.
you agree?
Absolutely, but that's how you learn, and it's not easy. And you didn't have, and you had some experience of fundraising, but not like you probably have today, and, walk us through like something that you learned by, doing, building your own thing and going through things and said, hmm, lesson learned.
Yes. Well, I have been very lucky. I was always in the nonprofit sector from my days in Lancaster City, working for two museums in Lancaster, post Penn State, and then moving to this area. And I do think every role has taught a little something different. But I think using all the lessons that I've learned, I think back to days at the Franklin Institute, which was just such an incredible place to work. I mean, I just love it. I was there over 5 years and made such incredible friendships there with colleagues that I still am in touch with today, but learned so much about the inner workings of a nonprofit and thinking big and figuring out how to. I worked in development, I worked in events. So that fundraising aspect really, I learned quite a bit during my years at the Franklin Institute. And then in my role in Chestnut Hill, we did a lot of promotions and worked with the media quite a bit around Holidays on the Hill, the Harry Potter Festival back in the day, all the different programs, working with building relationships with property owners and business owners and the community. So I think you take all of the different lessons you learn in each position that you have. And I know for Today is a Good Day, I've taken all of those different lessons and been able to kind of put them to work in this role. But it is all new. And the team, we have such a great team here, but we talk about it a lot. Hey, we're all working together, right? This is all of us are growing this organization together, and we're all learning together, and we're trying new programs and launching new programs. And we're going to see how they work, and we're going to come back and adapt. And that's the nice thing about having the size organization I think that we do now, is that we can quickly pivot and say, okay, let's try this, right? Let's see if this is going to work better to serve more families. So we're always thinking like that, but a really great team.
You have to. You have to constantly be evolving because otherwise it's all that hard work for nothing because somebody else comes to this to the left, someone comes to the right, and tell yourself every day probably today is a good day, because tomorrow you don't know what tomorrow brings. You just don't, unfortunately. How can we get in contact? How can we like say, hey, I want to help out. Today is a good day as a volunteer, or even sending off a little dinero. How can we get a hold of you?
Oh, thanks, Marcia. And with Today's a Good Day, we have lots of opportunities to get involved. Many are outlined on our website, which is todayisagoodday.org. But we not only have volunteer opportunities in our office, at home volunteer opportunities, we also, as you know, offer corporate team building programs. And we will go to offices, host virtual team building programs, all helping to support the mission of Today is a Good Day, building care packages. We also weave bonding squares, which are hand woven squares made of yarn. One goes on the parent skin, one goes into the isolette, and at night you switch them. So the parents have the baby scent and the babies have the parents scent. And those are all donated with love by volunteers supporting our mission. But we do corporate team building with that. We also offer team building with making signs for NICU families so that we can give nurses signs that they can write a baby's name on so it doesn't have to be a computer generated name. But the best way to get involved is to reach out to us. Martha@todayisagooddday.org. Check out our website, todayisagooddday.org. We are also across all social channels, and we really encourage you to follow us.
And I have to make sure everybody knows that we did that team building. We asked for my team, and we had the squares, and it was so much fun. I think it was just ironic to see what the squares looked like after we were done. Some were like so perfect, and some looked like somebody was wearing a really skinny dress. But we had so much fun trying to do it and and that was like all on Zoom. It's almost trying to show people how to tie your shoes without showing them, but talking it through.
Yes.
And but we just had so much fun at that. So I'm so glad that we did that with you guys. Well, this is great. Now, I know I like letting people know how you do things, and people always ask, "What do you read?" and all. So when you read things, do you do Audible or do you do books?
That is a good question. When I read, so I do have a 7 and 12-year-old at home, so I'm getting back to the point of being able to read more frequently. But when I read, I do like to read a good book. And one of my favorite books I have to share with your listeners, and I don't know if you've read it, Marcia, it's called The Gratitude Diaries. Have you read it?
Good one.
It is
Great one.
one of my favorite books. I actually am thinking about rereading it, but it's just a really good one. That is one of my most favorite books that I read recently, but I'm getting back into it. It's one of my goals for 23.
It's hard. It's hard to do that. My goal, that wasn't this year, that's for sure, but a few years back was a one book a month. And I started off great and then just like went downhill.
It's hard.
And it's really, really, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully I can keep my pickleball challenge to myself next year. So,
What do you like? Books? Are you a listener?
I like both. I like sometimes looking through the book because I have that photogenic memory. I like to know exactly what page and where I was. But when I'm an Audible, I usually only like it when I'm driving in the car because I remember exactly what exit and everything else certain chapters were. But I haven't been driving as much, as we had done before COVID. And so I missed that because I went to go through a lot of books that way. But, I haven't really done that much right now. But it's all coming together. But if you looked at my Audible library, you'd die because I must have like 20 books on there. Like they've all started, but really haven't finished them quite yet. So I have a lot of work to do on that. But that's okay. These are out there when I need them. And then, just if you looked at your phone today and you wake up the first thing in the morning and look at that one app, and I know next year it's going to be the Today is a Good Day app.
It absolutely.
But for right now, which one do you open up the first thing in the morning?
Oh, goodness. There's a couple I float back and forth through. I would say I look at messages, probably email comes up first because I jump up and get started on that pretty quickly. And then sometimes social media. I like to scroll through, see what's going on.
Yep, I hear. Mine is always, my team, Meg is going to laugh and she's going to be like, Weather Channel? I'm like, yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to know what to wear that day, if it's going to be cold, hot.
Yeah.
Today, if it's going to, what it's going to look like.
Yeah, today's pretty raw, but that's okay, so we got to have the bad days to enjoy the good days, right? So it's all good. Yes, Megan's like not surprised, of course. But with all that, I just wanted to say thank you for being a part of Top 3. And everybody out there, have a wonderful holiday season. Again, this is Marcia O'Connor with the O'Connor Group. Today's guest was Martha Sharkey at Today is a Good Day. By all means, please take a time today to look at her website and contribute anything you possibly can. They do such amazing work, and there's so many poor little humans that go through the NICU. You don't have no idea, so they need your help right now. But thank you guys for listening today to Top 3, where entrepreneurs share their secrets and their mistakes, and we'll catch you next time.